Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Welcome, everyone. In this session, we'll walk through a structured guide on how to set Net Promoter Score targets in a call center. NPS targets can't just be picked at random. They need to be realistic, customer-focused, and aligned with business goals. We'll look at the critical factors to consider, such as customer expectations, industry benchmarks, operational realities, workforce capability, and financial impact. By balancing these elements, call centers can set targets that not only push for higher performance but also remain achievable and sustainable. In other words, the right NPS target should challenge the team, reflect customer needs, and support long-term business growth. Let's begin with industry benchmarks and best practices. When it comes to NPS, it's important to remember that not all scores are created equal. The typical range for average call centers usually falls between +20 and +30. These centers deliver decent service but often struggle with consistency or customer loyalty. On the other hand, high-performing centers operate at an NPS of +40 to +60. At this level, service delivery is not just efficient but memorable. Customers are not only satisfied, they're loyal advocates who recommend the brand to others. This is why competitive positioning matters. When setting targets, we can't do it in isolation. NPS goals should be aligned with industry averages and competitor benchmarks. That way, we don't just meet internal standards, we ensure we are keeping pace with, or even pulling ahead of, the competition. In short, benchmarks set the baseline. They show us what's typical, what's excellent, and where we need to aim if we want to gain a real competitive edge. Next, let's talk about customer expectations and loyalty goals. If a call center's priority is high customer retention and lifetime value, then NPS targets need to reflect that ambition. In such cases, setting the bar at +50 or higher makes sense because stronger loyalty directly translates into repeat business, renewals, and higher long-term revenue. Another factor is customer segmentation. Not all customers have the same expectations. For VIP or premium segments, those who pay more, expect more, and often have a greater lifetime value, NPS targets should be stricter. For example, while a +40 might be acceptable for the general customer base, a +60 or higher may be required for premium accounts to protect loyalty and advocacy. The takeaway here is that NPS targets should never be one size fits all. They must reflect both the loyalty goals of the organization and the expectations of different customer groups. Another important factor in setting NPS targets is service level agreements, or SLAs. In BPO contracts, NPS often isn't just a performance metric, it can be contractually tied to penalties or bonuses. That means meeting or missing the target has a direct financial impact, making it essential to set realistic yet ambitious goals. For in-house operations, the approach is slightly different. Here, NPS targets are usually aligned with internal KPIs such as CSAT, first call resolution, and SLA compliance. In this context, NPS acts as the umbrella metric that reflects how well these operational measures translate into long-term customer loyalty. So whether it's through contractual obligations in a BPO environment or internal alignment in an in-house setting, SLAs play a major role in shaping how NPS targets are defined and achieved. Next, let's look at how call volume and query complexity affect NPS targets. For simple queries, like balance checks, password resets, or basic account updates, customers expect fast, seamless service. In these cases, it's realistic to set higher NPS targets because quick resolutions naturally create more promoters. But when dealing with complex cases, issues that involve multiple steps, cross-department coordination, or in-depth troubleshooting, customer expectations shift. Here, it may be more practical to set lower initial NPS targets, at least until workflows are streamlined or additional training equips agents to handle these cases more effectively. The key is balance. By factoring in both query type and call volume, organizations can set NPS goals that are ambitious but realistic, ensuring agents are set up for success while still driving continuous improvement. Another key factor in setting NPS targets is the skill level and stability of the workforce. When you have a high-skill workforce, agents who are cross-trained, experienced, and confident, you can set higher NPS goals. These teams are capable of handling a wide variety of queries, often resolving issues on the first call while maintaining empathy and professionalism. On the other hand, when there's high attrition or a large proportion of new hires, it's important to be realistic. New teams are still in training, learning processes, and gaining confidence. In this stage, it makes sense to start with moderate NPS targets until the workforce stabilizes and performance matures. The bottom line is this: NPS goals should reflect the actual capability and maturity of the team. Ambitious targets are powerful motivators, but only when they're achievable with the skills and stability in place. Technology also plays a critical role in setting NPS targets. With advanced AI and analytics tools, call centers can deliver faster and smarter experiences. Capabilities like AI-powered call routing, real-time sentiment analysis, and agent assist tools not only speed up resolutions but also improve accuracy and empathy. In environments like this, it's realistic to set higher NPS targets because the technology gives both customers and agents a better experience. On the other hand, if a center is still relying on legacy systems, service may be slower, less consistent, and more frustrating for customers. In those situations, NPS targets should be set more realistically, with gradual improvement expected as system upgrades roll out. In short, the strength of your technology stack directly determines how ambitious your NPS goals can be. Now let's consider the role of technology and AI capabilities in setting NPS targets. When a call center is equipped with advanced AI and analytics tools, the customer experience is transformed. Features like AI-powered call routing, real-time sentiment analysis, and live agent assist ensure faster, more accurate, and more personalized interactions. In these cases, it's reasonable to aim for higher NPS targets because the technology empowers agents to deliver exceptional service consistently. By contrast, organizations still working with legacy systems often face slower processes, fragmented customer data, and greater service inconsistency. Here, NPS targets need to be set more realistically, with the understanding that scores will improve once system upgrades or new tools are introduced. The takeaway is clear: the strength of your technology stack directly influences how ambitious your NPS targets can be. Another factor to consider is the channel mix and customer preferences. For voice and other real-time channels, like live chat, customers expect quick responses and personal attention. Because these interactions involve direct human touchpoints, it's reasonable to set higher NPS targets. Customers value the immediacy and empathy that real-time service provides. On the other hand, with email or back-office interactions, response times are naturally longer. Customers may be satisfied with accurate resolutions, but they don't expect the same instant experience as a live call or chat. In these cases, it makes sense to set slightly more relaxed NPS targets while still aiming for consistent quality. The key takeaway is that NPS goals should reflect how customers experience each channel, setting the right expectations without compromising service quality. Finally, let's look at financial and business objectives when setting NPS targets. If the organization is focused on retention and revenue growth, higher NPS becomes a key driver. Loyal customers not only churn less, they also buy more, renew more often, and reduce overall acquisition costs. In this scenario, aiming for higher NPS targets directly supports the company's bottom line. At the same time, targets must take a balanced approach. Ambitious goals are valuable, but they should align with operational realities such as staffing, training, and technology readiness. Otherwise, the pressure to overdeliver can lead to burnout and inconsistent performance. In short, NPS targets should reflect both the financial ambitions of the business and the capacity of the operation, striking the balance between growth and sustainability. Another important element in setting NPS targets is looking at historical performance and trends. The best approach is progressive improvement. By analyzing 6 to 12 months of NPS data, call centers can set quarterly or annual targets that steadily move the score upward. This creates momentum, celebrates small wins, and builds confidence over time. What we must avoid, however, are over-aggressive goals. Setting unrealistic jumps, say expecting a leap from +20 to +60 in a single quarter, can demotivate teams and even distort performance reporting. Agents may feel the target is unattainable, and leaders risk focusing on numbers instead of meaningful improvement. The key is consistency. Progressive, realistic targets based on past trends are far more effective than chasing sudden, unsustainable gains. Finally, let's consider the competitive and regulatory environment when setting NPS targets. On the competitive side, it's important to know where the market stands. If competitors are consistently achieving an NPS of +50, then setting our targets below that won't help us stay competitive. Targets should be aligned with, or ideally, positioned above, industry standards to strengthen market differentiation. On the regulatory side, not every organization has the same flexibility. In highly regulated industries like finance, healthcare, or telecom, certain process changes may be restricted. These compliance requirements can slow down how quickly NPS improvements can be made. Targets, therefore, need to be ambitious but also mindful of these constraints. The key takeaway here is that NPS goals don't exist in a vacuum. They must reflect both the competitive landscape and the regulatory framework the business operates in. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.